So sometimes you have to have the tough conversations of saying, look, you might be able to get some capacity, but it's not the right capacity, right? It's you're getting a carrier that you've never worked with before. You're getting some of these things, and so some of it really has to do saying, okay, what's most important for you? And different shippers are going to have different points of view on this. But when you have no capacity available, right, the rate discussion is almost irrelevant, right? But we still have it where there's this sense here that you just can't get away from the rate, right? The rate is so important. And you really then have to then move that discussion along and say, okay, let's take the rate out of that pain point and say, what is it that you are running into, right? Is it that you need to keep your facility running? You need to make sure that you have inventory in the system. How is that facility working that you're trying to supply? What is it that you need? And then you can come up with solutions to help with that. Some of it might be, gosh, you can start thinking about how you run your operation and create some productivity in there. So now you incentivize people who want to go there. I mean, if you think about some of the problems that are at shipping facilities, right? You don't have a person there to unload you. You can't find the right dock. You don't have a bathroom facility readily available for a driver. Just things like that. And so you, as a broker in this case, can actually start having some of those discussions and say, okay, what is it that you can do to incentivize to then want capacity to come to you? Because you're going to pay the rate that you're going to pay. Doesn't really matter. All we want to be able to say is, how can I incentivize quality drivers and quality companies to come in? Things like that. And so this is where you're not going to be able to secure additional capacity if it doesn't exist. Now, you can always pay for it, but that's not a guarantee when you're basically running at 100%, because you're going to pay for it anyways, right? So that can't be the only solution. The other thing then too is you need to be able to have that conversation so that they can move up the chain of command and say, we need to do something different. And that's a hard conversation to have. But if you're the broker in this case, you can have those conversations and say, look, I need to make sure that you're talking internally. In essence, you are almost a therapist for a moment, right? You're kind of having that come to Jesus moment of just, let's sit down and have these hard conversations. And that's okay. So those are some of the things that it's not this concrete thing of, oh my gosh, you can go out and get back capacity here. You have to do something different.
The amazing thing to me has been the speed of the technology and also the low cost, really. And as Eric pointed out, in planning for the carriers, if it's a two-way street. The carriers can inform the shipper and the broker if a load is going to be late on because of an unavoidable thing. Or, as Eric pointed out, the planning role that comes into play when you've promised, 40,000 pounds of freight, but you only have 18,000 pounds. What that carrier can do with that additional capacity is very, very important. It's important at any time, but today with capacity at a premium and the system just running completely full out, there's no excuse for not notifying all parties of extraneous factors, and it just smooths things out all the way around. So I agree with what Eric said about having that conversation. The brokers are in a great position to influence shipper behavior. Our magazine goes to the shippers. We have harped on this for decades. Make your operation efficient, use technology, use all the tools in the toolbox to make life easy.